What's up, everyone? My name is Zephin, and welcome to Beardblush and Nell's first nail art tutorial. Today I just wanted to show you a little bit of how to marble with hybrid gel or polygel. Fun fact, it's actually called hybrid gel. Everyone just calls it polygel because of the brand name. This is just showing you that it is actually a thermal polygel. So this polygel changes colors depending on the temperature. In this case, it goes from a white to an opaque whenever it's exposed to cold, I guess. So this is my marble design with it. I thought this was a little cooler than just trying to do, one single color on all the fingers or whatever. But yeah, guys, so you can do marbling with like acrylic or gel polish or like whatever you want. There's plenty of things you can do it with, but I just prefer to do it with hybrid gel because of the ease. We have 3 different colors here that we're going to be working with. These are by the brand Your Sugar. It's something I got off of AliExpress. You can get them on Wish. And I just have some slip solution just that I had laying around. So we've got red, we've got a purple, and we've also got a blue. Now they've got this in several other colors. These are just the ones I chose. Once again, there's my slip solution, nothing special. Now the brush though is something that you really want to take a look at. So it has this little spatula on one end. On the other end though is a brush, and this brush is pretty important. You don't want just a regular brush that you would use for like acrylic. As you can see, this brush is very stiff. So whenever you push on it, it doesn't just bend all over the place. Just for comparison, here is a Kolinsky brush number 8 by Mia Secret. You can see just how different it bends whenever you push on it. I've already done my entire set on both of my hands. I didn't want to take anything off really because I'm happy with them. So I'm just going to do this on my practice hand just to kind of give you an idea of how to do it. And obviously, if you're doing this on someone or on yourself, you're going to have to, shape it a little differently so that you can get the shape you want and all that. So there's a little more to it whenever you're doing it on a person. But just for the sake of showing you the technique, I thought this would work. I've got a couple of other marbling things that I want to do later, but I really like polygel or hybrid gel a lot. So I just wanted to show you this first. First of all, we're gonna just get a little blob of your first color here. Whenever you're working with this stuff, it's kind of hard to get it to disconnect there, so you just kind of move it around a lot on the edge, and it'll come off. So anyways, we're gonna just put the little blob on here and try not to get the strings everywhere. It's not easy to do sometimes because it is very stringy. But anyways, go ahead and get your other blob, put it on there. And if you're working on an actual person, you could have the paper form or the tip on there, whatever you want to do. You can do this either way. I use paper forms more often than not. Here I'm showing you just, how to kind of preserve some of your gel, because you don't want to just wipe off your excess every time, and you are going to want to wipe off, what is left on there after you scrape it, so that you're not mixing your colors in your pots. As you can see, whenever I went to put the red on here, I kind of got a little bit on the side, but it works out because I can show you how easy it is to fix it. So you're just going to dip your brush in the slip solution, and you can see it's just, once the brush is wet at least, it's so easy to just pull it off the skin or, whatever it gets on. So just make sure your brush is wet, because whenever your brush is dry, and you'll see it happen here as the brush starts to dry. And by the way, if you don't have slip solution, you could really just use alcohol. I prefer to use slip solution simply just because I feel like it causes less problems with, you'll see it in a minute. It still happens with slip solution. I have this problem with most polygel in general. So, anyways, we'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, I'm just kind of smushing it all around. You're just going to mix it up kind of. Now, you don't want to mix it up to where the colors are actually blending. You're going to just kind of gently move them around, kind of move them into each other while you're also shaping it into what you want. And at this point, if you're doing an extension without a tip or on paper forms, this is the point where you're going to want to shape it into whatever shape, coffin, square, rounded, whatever you want. This is the point where you're going to do that, because once you have it in the shape that you want, you can kind of go ahead and swirl it around a little more, and in the process of getting it to the shape you want, it's going to swirl naturally, sort of. So, you know, don't overthink this part. It's really easy to do, and these colors will blend if you mix them too much. So, you know, that's all I can say is just try and be gentle while also getting the job done. Now, as the slip solution starts to dry, you're going to see some white spots appear on the surface. This is what I was talking about with the slip solution. I find it happens less with slip solution than with alcohol, but for me it's happened with pretty much any hybrid gel that I've used. It's just, I don't know if it's just because of the alcohol in the slip solution or alcohol itself, you know, that it dries and it just leaves this kind of white residue all over the surface. Now, it's not a problem at all because we're going to file down through the top anyways, and I like to file through the top of marble designs a little bit anyways, just because it kind of gives it an interesting look. You can kind of see the marble a little more. Now here you can see me kind of trying to fill in any little gaps, and I mean, I didn't do a perfect job on this, but I was kind of just trying to show you, you know, what you need to do. You can see it kind of sticking up there. It gets a little sticky whenever the brush starts to dry and it starts sticking to the gel, and you really want to be careful with that and try and keep your brush as wet as possible because you're going to start working against yourself if you don't. Yeah, so now you can really see that white residue start to appear. It's just, I mean, it's really unavoidable as far as I can tell, especially whenever you're doing designs like this where it's, you know, you're touching it a lot and you're moving it around and you're doing a lot to it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put this into an LED lamp for 60 seconds. I always do about 70 seconds just to give it a couple extra seconds. I don't think that's really necessary, to be honest, but you know, you can do it. So put your lamp away and get a good look here at this white residue. So first of all, you're going to get some alcohol to wipe it off, and some of it will come off. Try not to get alcohol everywhere like I did. I sprayed it all over the hand, but anyways, so as you can see, as you wipe it off, some of it does start to come off. And if you wipe hard enough, it will come off mostly, but not entirely. Now here, listen real quick and you can see what you need to listen for. So those little taps, like you can tell whenever polygel has cured all the way, whenever you just kind of tap your nail against it and it makes those little tapping noises. If it's not cured all the way, you won't hear those like tapping noises, and you can kind of know that you need to cure it some more. But to be honest, if you have a good LED lamp, 60 seconds is going to be enough. Alright, so here I'm just kind of filing through the top layer, shaping it a little bit, but really not that much because at this point, you know, we have the rounded shape we want. You can see that there's still a little bit of white spots that are still there. You can know which spots to take care of by if you wipe alcohol on it, and excuse the cat hairs, sorry guys. But if you wipe alcohol on it though, and there's still little white spots all around whenever it's wet, those are the spots you're trying to get rid of, because those are the spots that when you put a top coat on are still going to show through. So I like to, after I take a hand file, just take an e-file and, you know, go over it once and try and get all those little spots to go away. You know, as long as you're not filing down too far, it's still going to look good once you're done. Alright, so now that I've, you know, filed all of the little white spots that I, you know, can see, I mean, there's still a couple little ones there. It's not going to be perfect right now, just, you know, this was just a practice hand, so I wasn't too concerned with getting every little spot. You can still see around the edges a little bit, but, you know, it's really easy to get all those spots to go away as long as you just try. So I'm going to be using IBD Intense Sil No Cleanse Top Coat. This is one of my favorite top coats that I've used. Just be aware that if you're using it on natural nails, it will burn you. It does have a heat spike, so just be very careful whenever you're using this stuff on natural nails. I mostly save this stuff for only to be used on top of extensions or acrylics, something like that. So just be aware of that if you're not using it on acrylic or something like that. Alright, so straight out of the LED you can see that it's already turning a little bit white, which is nice because, you know, it's on a practice hand like this, it's kind of hard for me to show you it turning white. Of course you can see on my fingers what it looks like, but here I am trying to kind of get it to turn back to the regular color, so I ended up just getting the bowl of water again and showing you it changing back to the regular color. And I really liked how the marble turned out on this one. It doesn't show up too great on camera just because the red and the purple kind of mixed together, but in person it looked really cool. And it's just such an easy design to do that, you know, I don't see why anyone couldn't do this. So here I am trying to rub it a little bit, turn it back to the white so you can see the change that takes place, you know, as it happens. Alright guys, so since this is a practice hand, I just wanted to show you kind of what the final steps would be if you were doing this on yourself or another person. You're going to want to put some cuticle oil on because, you know, God knows all the filing and everything makes it a little rough on your hands. But yeah guys, so this is the completed project. You can see here what it looks like whenever it's cold, rather, and I'm going to do a little time lapse so you can actually see it change from cold to white. And I'm really happy with it. Like, this is easily one of the coolest and one of my favorite designs that I've done so far since I started doing nails. And I don't know, tell me what you think guys, leave a comment below, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more like this. I've got so many other things I want to do on this channel, and this is really just, you know, the first thing that I could think of because I just really like this design a lot. You can see here the difference between, you know, the warm and the cold, and if you have tips or if it's longer, you're going to see the colors on the end. Now on these other three fingers there are some other marble designs that I want to do, so make sure you let me know down in the comments if you're interested in seeing some like acrylic marbling, maybe gel polish marbling. I'm not that great with marbling with a gel polish and especially nail polish, but I can do it, so, you know, let me know if you're interested in that, or if you just want to see something totally different that's not marble. So, you know, by all means definitely comment below and let me know what you think. Alright, well that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching, and everyone have a great life.